Hello everybody, hey, it's Coach Mark. I'm back again for another video. Sorry, I know it's been a long time, but hey, as you can see, I got a new location here. I'm here in Scottsdale, Arizona, my mom's old pad. Some of you may know my mom passed away in November. It was really brutal losing my mom, but it's nice that she left me her place. So here I am. I've gotten a piano since, and you can see I replaced my mom's chair couch with a, you can see the pull-up bar in the background. It's my squat rack that I call it, basically I've turned it into a posture repair machine. So I do all kinds of exercises on that to help me repair my posture. You can see I'm kind of sitting on a yoga ball now, and I usually stand, but when I sit, I do prefer to sit on the big yoga ball. And I'm going to be talking today about leaving Salesforce. Some of you may know I left Salesforce after 5 years. Long story there, but I'm meeting with the EEOC on Tuesday I don't want to say too much until after I meet with them, but what I'm going to be talking about today, this may look backwards, sorry for the quick time video, but basically I'm going to be talking about my awakenings here. What led me up to this point, how did I get here? 58 years old, and some would call me, I don't know, I don't know if I'm a rebel or what, but I don't like to follow the norms of society. I don't mind following the rules if the rules make sense, but a lot of the rules, in my opinion, don't make sense. So anyways, here I am. I'm unemployed, but hopefully I'll have a new job soon, and I'm just kind of I'm trying to decide what I want to do next with my life, and my next role professionally should be interesting. Anyways, I'm going to talk about my awakenings, what led me here. I was born in 1963, so I'm a product of the 60s, and I was just kind of a normal kid growing up in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Spent a couple years up in Fridley, Minnesota, but I really had my first awakening in college. After right before I graduated Cal Poly, I was like 22 years old. It was 1986. You probably can't read this board here, but it's kind of my cheat sheet. And in 1986, right before I graduated, I had this huge awakening. Huge. My college buddies will remember it well, because I just realized my college professors were full of crap. And anyways, the system was BS, and I knew something's not right with this culture. Like, something's just not, stuff doesn't make sense. The stuff they're teaching me in my social science degree, it didn't add up, put it that way. And I could just tell it was BS. Philosophy classes were interesting. I'll get into that later, but that's my first real awakening at like 22 years old, back in 1986. And then, I kind of got sucked in society after I graduated, and, started working, getting a job, worked for Lego for a few years, Rutgers University for a year, Montclair State, and then couldn't make it in coaching, but got into tech. And then, let's see, my next awakening, it didn't come till I'll tell you, I got sucked back in society after that 86, after I got married, got a job. I ended up moving out to Oregon, and working for Nike for 17 years. I was voting Democrat, and I kind of forgot, honestly. I got sucked back in society. I did, making a living. And then I had my next awakening after 9/11. After 9/11, I knew something wasn't right with 9/11 the whole time, and while I was working at Nike, I tried to talk about it. People didn't want to talk about it, and then finally, by around 9/11 happened in 2001. Another 10 years later, fast forward, I'm still kind of trying to talk about it at Nike. People are telling me to shut up, and the war of terror is going on, and I'm like, this ain't right, people. Something's not cool here, and the war of terror was pissing me off. I finally, in 2012, I stopped paying my taxes and left corporate America, quit my job at Nike, tried to get back into wrestling coaching. In all honesty, I was like, okay, sold my house, which was tough because man, but I didn't know what to do. Like I, I was worried about finding another soul sucking job, you know, and I was trying to get out of the soul sucking universe that I was in, and trying to find a career that felt good to my soul. It was very difficult. You know, I ended up here at Sharks MMA after I quit Nike. A couple years later, I ended up opening a jiu-jitsu gym. Um, Big old huge fiasco that was. But it was actually, we had some success for a good year before it went belly up and turned a fiasco on me. But Sharks MMA was a great little business for a while. We had a good, you know, we gave to the community. It was really cool. If I could have made that work, that was my exit. But then it went belly up, and then I had to go back to the corporate world when I went back to work at Salesforce. But I was still like, you know, when I started at Salesforce, I was like, I knew 9/11 was a lie, and you know, I. But what was interesting at Salesforce is I was kind of allowed to talk about it. It was different than Nike. It was a much different culture. People didn't mind talking about 9/11 so much, and I thought that was interesting. Um, but then I thought Salesforce was kind of a cool company. They were giving back to society. You know, they were paying us to go do volunteer work in our communities. We could pick we could pick the organization we wanted to go work with. It was super cool. There were other issues with Salesforce. Maybe I'll get into that in another video, but I thought it was a great company until COVID hit. And then when COVID hit, I realized, you know, it's a contact tracing company is what it turned into. I had no idea who Mark Benioff was when I started working for them in 2019. But anyways, I had another awakening, you know, around 2012, right when I left Nike. Um, this was before Sharks. You know, I realized the moon landings were a hoax, and that's when I started questioning the moon landings at Nike. I couldn't last, man. They were like they really didn't want to talk about that. People get upset when you start telling them the moon landings are a hoax. It's really interesting how some people got super upset at that. I lost a lot of friends over that. So then, you know, I had that awakening in 2012 over the moon hoax, moon landings, and then again, it came another big awakening, you know, right when I started at Salesforce in 2016, 2017. This was after Sharks because Sharks closed. I went to work at Salesforce right up the street in Hillsboro, Oregon, and I discovered what the next thing that pissed people off, and I lost a ton of friends over, and that was questioning the globe. You know, I used to call it flat Earth, but I don't even like to call it flat Earth anymore because people freak out when you use those words, flat Earth, and it's like it's not even. You know, I don't know what the Earth is. I don't know. What I do know is it's not a globe spinning through space. And you know, I'm going to make a video on that just alone on constant velocity, and because they tell us, you know, the moon, we can watch it travel with constant velocity. We witness it travel at a constant velocity, and they tell us it does, but it's not possible. In the model of the universe they give us, satellites can't travel at a constant velocity. It breaks the laws of physics. It literally does. So it's like people don't get that. That's something that a lot of these science people don't like to discuss, and we'll get into that in another video. So I don't know what the Earth is. That's all I'm saying. It's just not a globe. It's not spinning, and the moon's not a satellite from a ball spinning through space. It's not physically possible, people. And you know, we'll have that discussion. Please make some comments in this video if you think the Earth is a rock spinning, flying through space, because I can tell you it's not, and it's easily provable. You know, the moon is cold. You know, the moon shines a cold light. Isn't that interesting? That's the other thing they don't like to talk about in science class. And the things we see here on Earth don't match up to the model that they're giving us in science class. And there's some obvious flaws with it that they don't talk about in science class. But I'll talk about them here on this channel, Bruce Shark channel. Bruce Sharkey, that's my professional wrestling name, or also my Facebook wrestling name is kind of where I started that little professional wrestling group I belong to on Facebook is a pro wrestling group. It's kind of interesting. Global people all over the earth. Made a lot of friends through Facebook and professional wrestling. So Bruce the Shark is my professional wrestling name. Facebook also. And also then, so let's get back to my awakenings. 2016, it was questioning the globe. Boy, did I lose a lot of friends over that. But I was careful not to talk about it too much at work. But even at work, I could talk about it. Salesforce was interesting. It wasn't until COVID hit where I realized Salesforce was up to no good with their contact tracing. That's what started, and then now it's turned into vaccine tracing as well. So it's I had no idea who Salesforce was, and then eventually they started harassing me in my work, and I'll get into that later. But I think we were discriminated against at Salesforce because we didn't scam up our faces, and we didn't do the jab thing. So. Um, those are my wake ups. And then, now I'm having my latest wake up here in 2022 when I'm listening to Allison McDowell. I've been listening to Allison for the last year and a half, and she's onto some stuff that's very interesting with the blockchain and this fourth industrial revolution that it's funny, I learned about it at Salesforce, and it's coming like a freight train, this fourth industrial revolution. So I kind of saw it from the inside of Salesforce, so we'll get into that later. But that's in my new latest wake up call is this new um, digital currency that we're moving towards. These companies, Salesforce is big, this new digital currency they're pushing. It's got nothing to do with health. These vaccine tracing, it's nothing to do with health. It's got to do with this new economy that they're trying to build in this fourth industrial revolution. And Allison McDowell talks all about it. Please listen to Allison. If you haven't, she's incredible, and her work's very important. Everyone needs to listen to more Allison McDowell. Okay, let's move on to some solutions here, people, because I'm not going to complain. Like Peggy Hall, I complain about complainers. I'm Mr. Optimist. And here I'm working on my posture as I'm doing this, checking, I don't want to be a chicken neck. I don't want to be all hunched over. I'm trying to be in good posture as I go throughout my day. And I'm doing posture exercises throughout my day. Make sure we're not just what we eat, but we're how we move. And make sure when we're moving that we're moving in good natural positions and stretching out these chest muscles, shortening the back muscles. Remember how important that is. We'll get into more of that in another video. Let's talk about solutions and how we're going to move forward in this new economy that's coming at us. So we got to build a new economy. Obviously, we need something to compete with these people. So we're going to start new communities with new economies. I love what they're doing up at Holly Hill in Oregon. Maybe I'll do another video with them, Trevor and his family up in Holly Hill. And then human connections through wrestling, through hugs, through handshakes, through communities, churches, group hugs. So less time on the tech, which is what I'm doing here today. But hey, we all do it. So I'm just trying to get my message out. And we're going to do less time on the tech and more time on the posture repair machine. The posture repair, it's great, people. I love this thing. We're doing all kinds of exercises to improve the posture and lengthen the chest muscles, and we're trying to, there's all kinds of exercises I could do there, but we need to shorten the back muscles, get the back muscles stronger, strengthen the back, stretch the front. That's the secret, one of the secrets of fixing our posture and getting our bodies back in alignment. Body alignment is so important. Oh my gosh, hopefully you get it's so important. Anyways, people, it's been a great video. Hope you're having a great day. I love y'all, and peace, prosperity to each and every one of you.